Hey, everybody, and welcome to another deep dive. We all make tons of decisions every single day, but today we're going to take a deep dive into making smarter decisions.
Yeah, you sent over this really fascinating article from Informa Tech Target's digital business site. And it's honestly got me thinking in some new ways about how we can approach tough choices.
Oh, really? What grabbed you?
Well, we're just drowning in information these days, right? And I think this article highlights that really well, especially how much harder that makes things.
Hmm.
It actually mentioned that only a tiny percentage of global leaders, like 3 out of every 100, actually feel like they've got all the info they need when making big decisions about their workforce.
Wow, 3 out of 100. That's
Yeah.
that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
I can definitely see why so many people feel overwhelmed these days, but the article doesn't just point out the problem, does it?
Nope. It digs into what high-performing organizations are doing differently.
Right.
They're not just reacting to the chaos. They've got a system. Yeah, they've built up this thing called decision intelligence. It's like a intentional approach to making decisions. It's something they practice and get good at.
Okay, so it's more than just going with your gut or even just what the data seems to say.
Way more. It's like they've built up a whole toolkit for decision making. They've got the data analysis part down pat, but they also bring in these human factors, things like empathy and getting different
So
perspectives.
it's this balancing act between the hard numbers and the human side of things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, that's where things get really interesting. The article talks about AI and machine learning and how that's changing the whole data game. It's easy to think, oh, machines can solve everything for us.
I get that. Totally. Faster, more efficient. Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
But I feel like the article is also saying, hold on a sec, let's not go too crazy with the AI.
AI is powerful, no doubt. It can crunch numbers and spot patterns like nobody's business. But it can't replace good old-fashioned human judgment. AI can give you insights from data, but it can't grasp things like brand purpose or ethical stuff. Those are areas where we humans have to step up.
It's like having a superpowered calculator. It can do amazing things, but you still need a person to look at the results and figure out what they actually mean.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And, that's where the article's focus on things like empathy and compassion comes in. Might seem a little strange at first, but research is showing that these high-performing organizations actually put a lot of emphasis on those qualities in their decision making.
Now, that's surprising.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily think of compassion as a must-have business skill. What's the connection there?
It's not about being nice for the sake of being nice. You see, bringing different voices into the decision-making process actually helps make better choices. When you've got open debate, people feel comfortable challenging each other's assumptions, you're more likely to uncover potential risks and biases that you might have missed otherwise.
Gotcha. So it's not just about crunching the numbers, it's about looking for different angles and maybe even challenging your own assumptions.
You nailed it. That's what they call pressure testing with diverse perspectives in the article. And you can use that idea anywhere, whether you're leading a team at work or just making a decision in your personal life.
So how would someone actually put that into practice?
Honestly, it can be as simple as finding someone who, sees things differently than you do and just asking for their honest feedback. And while you're at it, it's super helpful to lay down some ground rules for the conversation so you know it's productive and doesn't get stuck in endless debate.
So you're creating a space for open discussion, but keeping things focused and moving towards a decision.
Yeah.
So it sounds like we've got data, AI, and getting those different perspectives all playing a part here. It's not just one thing on its own right.
Yeah, it's like bringing it all together. The article keeps talking about this idea of combining art and science. Using data is key, but it doesn't tell you everything.
So what does that look like in real life? Can you give us an example?
Sure. Let's say you've got a company that's looking at all its sales data and they notice one product just isn't doing well.
Okay, yeah, that's a problem. What happens then?
Well, if you just look at the numbers, you might think, okay, time to cut this product. It's just costing us money. We need to streamline things.
Makes sense from a purely financial standpoint.
But hold on. What if you dig a little deeper and you realize that this product actually means a lot to a small group of customers? They really depend on it. It fills a need that your other products don't.
Oh, so the data's telling one story, but the actual impact on people is totally different.
Exactly. If you just went with the numbers, you might end up losing those loyal customers and hurting your brand in the long run.
So you've got to see beyond the numbers and think about the human side of things.
That's it. Sometimes the best decision from a purely data perspective isn't the best one when you consider how it affects real people.
That's a great point. You can have mountains of data, but if you're not using it with empathy and understanding of your customers, you're missing something big.
And that's where the art comes in, the art of decision making. Being able to step back, see the big picture, and realize that sometimes What's best for the bottom line isn't what's best for your customers, your employees, or your brand as a whole.
So how does all this apply to our